to infinity
and beyond.
Hello and welcome to That's a Wrap. My name is Anthony Gentry, and joining me today is the Secretary of Norse Film Society.
Oh my goodness, Austin Jameson, hello. It's the middle of the summer. This is super loud on Audacity.
It has been
Turn that down
a long time since we last recorded.
It has. And also, give credit to yourself. Why don't you tell the people how you moved up in the world?
I am now the promotions coordinator for Norse Code Radio.
Exactly.
So hey guys, if you like listening to us, host your own podcast. Join Norse Code Radio.
Yeah, and if you like movies, making movies, you can join Norse Film Society as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are we doing here? It's the middle of summer.
Yes. As you know, summer brings a lot of blockbusters.
Yes, it does.
It is also a very busy time. So
yes,
we are only going to do a few special summer episodes.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about Lightyear.
So loud.
But first, we have a few things to talk about.
Yes, we do.
The first thing, I would like to start out with a mistake that I made.
Okay. A mistake?
Yes. A few weeks ago on a previous episode, we talked about the trailer for a new Netflix, I don't even want to say comedy, series starring Melissa McCarthy and her dear, dear husband, Ben Falcone.
Of course.
Called God's Favorite Idiot.
Right.
And I told our audience that I would watch it and report back.
Yes.
So last night I was working and I realized tomorrow we're recording a podcast.
Yes.
And that TV show is out now. So I watched...
is it on Netflix?
Yes. So I watched all but one episode.
Sheesh. Like all but the last?
Yes.
Okay.
This show is atrocious. I hate this show.
Okay.
It is baffling. Not even how bad it is, because I knew it was going to be bad going in. But the sheer lack of chemistry that Melissa McCarthy and her own real-life husband have in this show. I do not believe that they like each other, let alone are in a relationship.
Who wrote it? Was it like a production for them?
Yeah, her husband wrote it. Her husband writes and directs all of the things that she is bad in. So it is no surprise here that this is not a good show. To be fair, I don't think he directed it, but he still wrote it, and he's the creator, so he planned out everything.
That's rough.
None of it is funny whatsoever.
No, you didn't laugh?
I did not laugh once.
Melissa McCarthy's in it, though. Was she not hilarious?
No, she's not. And Ben Falcone, he made the show. He also made himself the star of the show. And for those of you who don't know, it's about this guy who just likes Harry Styles or something, and they call him Simple. But he's just like a nice dude. I don't know.
Okay. And
he gets selected by God to save the world.
How many episodes are there? How much did you have to suffer through?
7. They were short. I'll give them that. It was like
they're not like 45 minutes.
No,
Netflix
I would
specials.
not do that if it was that long.
Why is
it's fine. But yeah, this show is not good. He, like Ben Falcone, he made himself like the messiah of this show. He's like, I am the one who will save humankind, and like, come on, man.
Yeah.
He is such a bad actor. I'm sorry. Like I said before, I'm sure he's a nice person. I'm sure him and Melissa McCarthy are a very sweet couple. But get him out of the movie business.
Has he been in like anything notable besides?
He forces himself into all of her movies.
Besides anything that people know Melissa McCarthy for?
I don't think so.
IMDb. His top 4, like the known 4 in IMDb.
Yeah.
Is Tammy and Thunder Force.
Yes, both movies he wrote and directed.
And then Enough Said and The Boss. I think The Boss is Melissa McCarthy, isn't it?
It is. He also wrote and directed that one. I don't think he did Enough Said. Like, maybe he just acted in it.
I don't know, but still.
But yeah, get this man out of the movie business, please.
We're coming in with some hot takes.
I know.
It's the temperature.
It is. It's very hot outside. But yeah, please do not watch this show. It is not good. It is awful. I feel like obligated to finish it, even though I don't want to.
Yeah.
Just to see how this is going to end poorly. There's one scene where the main character's dad, like, okay, so Satan comes in and like she traps his dad in a sauna for, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. And then he's like collapses and he has to go to the hospital. And the episode ends with like the main
spoilers for
oh
everyone
no
who wants to see this.
With Ben Falcone going to his dad. He's like, oh no, dad, and he keeps repeating that. We're like, it's my fault, and it's so bad. It's funny.
And
it's not supposed to be a funny moment.
Just describing it.
Anyway, I've spent a good amount of time.
So what you're saying is you have laughed at this movie.
Okay, maybe not, but not in the right way. In like the Room kind of way. Yeah, don't watch this.
I feel like somebody's touched the soundboard. Just off topic,
yeah,
because it's like the lows are low and the highs are really high.
Maybe I'll just get quieter.
That or back away. That's what I'm trying to do.
I'll back away.
I'm currently just like sitting as far as I can with like if I talk at this volume, that's pretty good. You talk. That's pretty.
This show's bad.
That sounds good. Okay.
We can move on.
Yes.
Just don't watch this show or do it. Why not?
Suffer. All right. We have two more things before our main topic.
Yes.
Which we've not even talked about our main topic. What are we?
I said we're talking about Lightyear.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't listen to anything you say, Anthony.
And that's why our dynamic works.
It does. Next, we're going to be talking. All right, I'll do my thing first before we do the thing. Due to popular demand from one person, that's Anthony, I watched Peacemaker. When did it come out? Was it like early this year?
It was January.
Okay. I watched it. I finished it. I finished the last episode this morning.
Okay.
Well, I watched the first 3 episodes a long, long time ago when we talked about it the first time. And then I just stopped. It wasn't out of like disinterest. It was like just got distracted with other shows. So I came back to this one. It is way too good
exactly
for what it should be.
Yes. Real quick, what did you think?
Spoilers?
Spoilers.
Okay.
Of the Justice League.
I don't care about the Justice League. I thought it was funny.
Funny.
I respect them actually getting Jason Momoa and, I respect them getting...
who shall not be named.
Yes. I respect them getting Jason Momoa. That's all. I don't know. I haven't even seen Aquaman. I haven't seen any of these movies.
Aquaman.
I've not seen Justice League. I really think it's funny that they let James Gunn just go crazy with the insults to like every other part.
I loved it so much.
It's so good, and I liked all the characters. The writing is that like it's such a good, really satirical, funny take on superheroes.
It's top notch.
James Gunn has mastered comedy and like mixing serious tone with like comedic tone, and I don't like. You'll go from John Cena like crying. To Vigilante being like, dude, now's not a good time to do your facial exercises.
And it actually gets you, too.
It does.
This is a stupid superhero comedy.
Yeah.
But when it hits, it hits.
You get to see an eagle hug a dude. Who gets to see that?
Twice.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good. Like, disturbing in the best ways. I don't know. I look forward to more of it now. Because I was obviously super skeptical whenever I saw the Suicide Squad, and then the end credit is like, oh, Peacemaker lived somehow. And then you get the show like immediately announced right after that. Yeah. And it's like, John Cena is like, he was okay in the Suicide Squad. I don't know if he deserved his own show.
In this.
He did a really good job.
That piano scene?
I forgot. That kind of went on for like a little while.
I guess, yeah.
For Euphoria watchers out there, that reminded me of Elliot's song.
We're not getting into Euphoria today.
No? You don't want me to talk about Euphoria? Okay. Have I talked about Euphoria? A
lot.
Okay. I don't remember. But Peacemaker is really good. The action scenes are really good. I really, really like Vigilante.
Yes.
My favorite scene with Vigilante that I had to rewatch like 3 times was him in the prison.
Yeah.
When he his delivery of everything, it's so good because it's
That's
Deadpool-esque.
Yeah,
but
that's what turned me around on Peacemaker, or not Peacemaker, on Vigilante.
Yeah,
because I was worried he'd just be that annoying sidekick.
Right.
But then, he turns around and saying, "No, I am capable.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm doing."
Yeah, for a most part, I'd say or a big core of his character is being the quippy Deadpool-esque side character that is not self-aware, but is always out of the situation, doesn't have good self-awareness, but. Vigilante defines himself really well in the fact that he does have a deeper personality that is just he's probably the best comedic relief you can have in this show.
Yeah,
he's just hilarious.
We haven't even talked about the rest of the crew.
No, we haven't.
It's been a while, so I don't remember all the names.
But you got Myrn.
Yeah.
Spoilers alert for
that
a bunch
made me
of things.
so sad for Myrn.
Rest in peace. That was when they first did the X-ray, that reveal, that was.
I thought he was gonna be a villain.
Mm-hmm.
I had to wait a full week for that, and then you got to see it immediately.
But the Myrn, there's Harcourt, there's John Economos.
Harcourt is married to James Gunn in real life.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that. Well, she did a very good job. Myrn was. All of them were great. They all gave such great performances. I wish more was done with Judo Master than just being a weird, kind of...
Judo Master wasn't really in it all that much.
I'm sure we'll see more, in the future.
Oh, for sure.
With the Cheetos. The Flamin' Hot Cheetos is what I was looking for. But, there you go. John Economos. You obviously have Adebayo, who's just... She does a really good job as well.
She was, the standout.
There's so much in the show, and, all the action scenes... The way James Gunn mixes them with comedy, the whole it's Gland High bottling plant, that scene, or that whole sequence where Adebayo walks up and it's the old lady and it's how can I help you? And then immediately her head just blows up.
Yeah.
It's that, but now I anticipate that in every scene when they talk to somebody. It's just so ridiculous in the best way, and it's way too good. It should not be this good.
Yeah, it shouldn't be
it's
this
a DC
good,
title, but
great.
It's James Gunn and John Cena just absolutely knocking it out of the park somehow.
Speaking of DC, it's just way off track. I don't think we talked about this.
Go for it.
Did you hear about Joker 2?
Yes, I did.
Lady Gaga is going to be Harley Quinn, and
I did not hear
it's
that.
going to be a musical.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, we can move on.
You can't. No. You can't just hit me with that. What?
Yeah, it's going
I
to
knew
be...
there was gonna. What?
Yeah, I sent you a picture of the script being done.
Right.
But it's going to be a musical. And Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn. You know what? I am here for it. That is crazy.
You know what?
And this movie is going to be chaotic.
Joker should have. Some movies just need to pack up their things and stay still. I don't.
Joker did not need a sequel.
No,
but if it's going to be a musical with Lady Gaga, sign me up.
You want to talk about movies that don't need a sequel? Jurassic World Dominion launched recently.
You know, I watched that.
Did you?
I had low expectations. I had a blast with that movie. It was so dumb, but I got to see Dino Carnage, and that's what I wanted.
I guess. I haven't seen it. I don't plan on seeing it.
We should review.
I'm quite literally tired of Chris Pratt. His reign in film is only growing with Garfield and Mario. And every single time I see Chris Pratt go like this, and that's me putting my hand up to a dinosaur.
He did that to so many dinosaurs in this movie, even though in the first movie they say it only works on these raptors that he trained.
Yeah.
But he did it to so many.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, would you like to move on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and talk about Kenobi.
Yes. Obi-Wan.
Final episode aired this morning, so spoilers if you're listening to this.
That is the only episode I want to talk about anyway.
Fair enough.
I liked the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I liked every episode, but this last episode,
it really sealed the deal.
With Kenobi and Vader fighting was so spectacular, and it was so good. I thought it was going to end with Vader using the rocks against him, and okay, so Vader thinks he wins, and that's why, like, he doesn't go to Tatooine to, like,
Right.
look for him or anything, and then, no. Obi-Wan comes back out,
Yeah.
beats him, you get the part with the mask off.
That part is so incredibly poetic. Have you seen Rebels?
No.
Do you care about spoilers for Rebels?
I know his mask comes off in Rebels, so
Okay.
it's okay.
Well, in I believe it's the season finale for season 2 of Rebels, Darth Vader arrives, and he has a duel with Ahsoka. In Ahsoka's battle, the right side of his mask is like ripped off,
Yeah.
and they have that same moment where it's like Anakin, and it's like, I'm not Anakin, and then the same event mirrors Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
where it's the other side of the mask.
I loved the different lights
Yes,
coming on him.
the lighting,
Yeah.
like in that whole scene,
when
was
it
great
was
with
the blue light,
Mhm.
and then when he said, like, I killed Anakin,
Yeah.
and then it just comes to red, and he has that, like, smile.
That's
That was
great.
so good.
I agree. And then I think the symbolism in the masks breaking is that Obi-Wan and Ahsoka can individually, like, break halfway through to Anakin,
Yeah.
but it takes Luke in Return
Oh,
of the
yeah.
Jedi to finally take
I
the
like
entire
that,
mask
yeah.
off. It's just like, it's great. That whole moment of, like, them setting up New Hope, and oh my god, the hello there at the end that they
Hello there.
cheated us out of in the 3rd episode, because for
Yeah.
obvious reasons they were doing it now. It's just so good. That's what I was waiting for. Was like, we know Luke knows about Old Ben, but we didn't see him meet in
Yeah.
this series. So I'm glad they got to that.
love
Owen
that.
and Beru just absolutely, like, arming themselves
and
beating
wrecking shop against
They were
Reva.
great. They did a great
I loved
job.
how they just kept throwing stuff at her.
Yeah. They made work. They got the job done.
Yeah.
Reva's story was alright.
Yeah, it was fine. I think we're going to see more of her, which is kind of exciting.
Me too. I think she has a lot of room to, like, expand in this universe.
It reminds me of the arc of, I think, the 7th sister in Fallen Order.
Okay. I know
The
you're
video
talking
game.
Yeah.
Only her arc got cut short by Darth Vader.
about. Yeah.
But in this, we'll see what happens after the Inquisitor
Right.
turns good.
I will say this series has a field day with putting lightsabers through the middle of people and then them living. Oh
yeah,
which is a staple. I mean, Maul had a lightsaber go absolutely through him, not just a tiny little. Maul and Grand Inquisitor, I'll give the benefit of the doubt because they have, like, the power of they like Darth Maul's whole arc in the Clone Wars is about how he's fueled by vengeance and hate in the dark side.
Yeah.
Takes that hate and, like, forces him to live.
Okay.
And that's why, like, his hate for Kenobi is his reason for living.
Yeah.
Grand Inquisitor, he's better in Rebels. And
yeah,
like,
he was in.
Whenever you texted me, you're like, I can't believe they killed the Grand Inquisitor that early. I'm like, he doesn't know. That's why I asked, have you seen Rebels?
Yeah, well, like, I saw that people kept saying, "Oh, he's in Rebels," but I was thinking, well, that could just be the same species, but maybe, like, someone else.
No. The same exact guy.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Rebel, like, I think his appearance in... one of the big controversies was his appearance from Rebels to live action was very odd, because in Rebels, in generally that species, has a very, like, vertical, long head. Yeah. And in this, it was a human with, like... He looked like the whatever his name is, the brain guy from Sky High.
He did, yeah.
And so I don't think they really did him justice with appearance. Ultimately, I don't care.
Yeah.
I think the performance was okay. But whenever he first made his appearance, like, I watched, like, a compilation of all Grand Inquisitor clips on YouTube from Rebels to compare it, and I don't think he did a terrible job. He could have been more menacing and less like, hello, I'm the mastermind.
I think they just didn't give him a lot of time to be in the show.
Because they made this Reva story and not really the story of the Inquisitors as much.
I do kind of wish it was extended a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But, yeah, I really liked this show overall. I thought it was just really good, throughout.
I think it was, like, it's It's definitely not like the best show ever.
Oh no, yeah, not
and
by
it's
a
not
mile.
like, but I enjoyed it. I think it did Ewan McGregor and Obi-Wan justice.
I think Qui-Gon's cameo
It was they
were too little, too late. It was nice seeing him.
It was nice seeing him, and in the books that aren't canon anymore, it said he completed his trainings, but those aren't canon, so technically he shouldn't be able to appear as a Force Ghost. But at the same time, who cares? It's it's Liam Neeson again, and that was really nice to see him. I wish we had gotten him earlier and not as like a end credit kind of tease.
Yeah,
but like, I don't know why. If he's a Force Ghost, I mean,
I understand that he needed to reconnect with the Force.
Yeah, like
that. But it would have been so nice to see him before he saw Vader.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, they tease it for like twice. Like you have the moments with Obi-Wan like asking for Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
And
even
then,
before the show starts, when they do the previously on, with Yoda saying, "We gotta do your training so you can see your master."
Mm-hmm. And Yoda completes his training, but
I don't think anyone knows what you're saying right now.
Nothing is.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was good. They have room to improve. Room to do more.
Do you hope they do season 2?
Not really.
Yeah.
They left Kenobi's story in a really good spot. I'd be down for any of the characters. Like if they did something, I don't think I'd want a main Reva storyline, but I'd love a live action Fallen Order like crossover. Like
yes,
I want a Cassian Andor story like where because the main pitch with Andor and that show coming up is that it's about parts of the Star Wars universe that you've not seen before.
Yeah, the very seedy parts of the rebellion.
Right. And so if they do that with like it in kind of I'd love to see an Inquisitor. I want because before this live action only watchers don't know who Inquisitors are.
Yeah.
This is their first introduction. Same with I can't believe they've not done anything with live action Darth Maul since they teased him in Solo.
Yeah.
But still, I think he has like. I completely lost my train of thought. Who was I talking about? Darth Maul and who was the other guy? The Inquisitors. Just generally. I think they have so much room to tell stories, and they're so interesting. Fallen Order did it super well. All the Star Wars the animated shows did it super well. And if they can nail a live action Inquisitor story, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
There's so many that we know about, but we have not seen yet, and I don't know. I think it'd be really cool.
I think it could be really cool to see an Inquisitor story. Even if it's not like, these Inquisitors are turning good.
Right.
Like, the
I'd love to see
Inquisitors
one
going
turn
down
evil.
and dirty.
Yeah.
Like, being Inquisitors.
Also, I will say, another thing they did really well in the show that they did really well, but I hate the way they did it, was make Darth Vader incredibly powerful.
Yes.
They've done a great job since Rogue One was probably the first real time that we got to see Darth Vader in action and show why he's one of the most terrified figures of the galaxy. But we still at that point don't really get to see there's a scene in Kenobi. We're already deep in spoilers.
We are.
Where the rebels or the people of the Path and everybody associated with that are escaping on a ship, and Darth Vader walks out and Force Unleashed style grabs the ship as it's flying away, pulls it back down, rips it open to dig in. Unleashed. It's freaking amazing.
It was so cool.
And then they hit another ship behind it, and it went. Why didn't he do it? Well,
why didn't he grab that one?
Well, probably because he was too weakened from doing all of that once. But that was so cheesy. Darth Vader, from what would it have been? Maybe from New Hope, from the original movie, has an innate ability to sense where somebody is.
Yeah.
If he wanted Kenobi that badly, maybe he would have known he's not on that ship and he's on the one. First of all, we did not see two ships. We saw one ship in the entire thing that they're trying to fly away of. And then,
I think the ship was inside the other ship.
No way.
No?
No.
Okay.
I want to pull it up again.
That's what I thought.
But there, it was definitely the big hangar, and then I wish we had a video. Maybe we'll. You're in keyboard now.
Maybe next semester.
That'd be really fun. But we have like the big circle and the big hangar, and then the ship right in the middle of it, and it goes and flies away, or tries to fly away, and he grabs it, and then he breaks it, and they let them do his whole like little show.
Yeah.
And then another one comes in from like a hole on the right side of the hangar, and he goes. Also,
we are getting into this.
Was there somebody flying that ship, or was it autopiloted? Yes.
I think it. I think
Yes.
it was. I forget his character's name, but O'Shea Jackson Jr. Ice Cube's son.
Who is that? One second.
He was the guy, like the tech guy, who had to repair. Oaken, yeah.
He was on the ship before. I mean.
Oh, you mean the big ship?
Who was flying the ship that Darth Vader tore out of the sky?
Oh yeah. Someone who's not in Star Wars anymore, maybe.
I want to know that because, first of all, why sacrifice somebody for that?
Yeah.
And why not? If they were sacrificing somebody, they would have.
Maybe it was like a Holdo
situation.
situation.
That's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
If they can autopilot a ship, why can't the main Resistance fighter in Last Jedi autopilot and turn itself around and do it? Why does she have to stay behind? There's no good reason, because that movie sucks. Anyways.
Moving on. We're not getting into Last Jedi.
I got in a little bit.
You did. You got it in.
But, here we are. That's...
Speaking of space.
Speaking of space, yeah, do you have something about space you want to talk about?
There is a new Disney Pixar movie out.
Is there? Really?
In theaters.
What is it called?
It is called Lightyear.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Main topic.
Yeah, a little movie.
First
little movie we
theatrically released Pixar movie
saw.
since March 2020 of Onward.
March. Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, 2020. Yeah, no. I did not like Onward, but we're not here to talk about that. We are going to talk about Infinity Beyond. Lightyear. What do you think, Anthony?
I will start out by saying this.
Okay.
When I first found out about Lightyear,
Yes.
I loved the idea.
Yes.
I thought this is how you expand a franchise.
I agree.
This is the very first thing that we talked about on our very first podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
We talked about Lightyear?
We talked about the Lightyear trailer.
Ooh,
so
cool.
This has been a long time coming.
Yes.
I think it was in my top 10 anticipate for the year.
Okay. This is not good.
I was disappointed with this movie.
Okay.
I still liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But it had, for me, it's like Up, where the beginning was so good and it had so much potential,
mm-hmm.
and then it dipped. But with Up, it dipped slightly, and it was still an amazing movie.
Mm-hmm.
But with Lightyear, it dipped a lot, and it did not reach the potential that it could have gone. I don't want to go too much into spoilers, but there is a sort of time travel plot.
It's in the trailers.
So basically,
depending
Buzz.
on...
Yeah. Basically, Buzz kind of crash lands his like ship with all the people on it on this alien planet, and they're trying to get home. But the only way they can get home is testing like hyperdrive, and they do that by sending Buzz into space. And for him, he ages 4 minutes, but everyone else ages 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that sequence of him just seeing everyone else grow up, and seeing his best friend live a full life, have children, have a full family, and he's just staying stagnant. I loved that, and I thought this okay, so they're gonna really tackle this, like Buzz with his mortality,
mm-hmm.
like that.
I thought that was going to be a completely different reaction. I thought you would have hated that. That's one of my least favorite parts. Of the movie.
Oh, no, I loved that, because I love the idea of what do you do when you've lost everything at this point. And then they kind of do a Suicide Squad, sort of team. And it's fine. It just turns into, a Pixar movie into this just average sci-fi movie.
Well, I will say this is, meant... Lightyear was definitely meant to take a step in the direction of adult sci-fi rather than children's Toy Story.
Oh yeah, for sure.
to note on that whole scene where he sees like everybody life's just like go by, I didn't. I think that's one of the weakest parts of the movie.
Really?
When I watched the first trailer, I was super hyped. I was like, Lightyear, it's a super cool concept. Like in universe movies, like this is the movie Andy watched that made him love Lightyear and why he wanted the toy. I think it's such a good idea, and Pixar should like. I still encourage them to expand on it. I will drop dead. I will eat a tissue if we don't get a Woody movie within the next 5 years.
I don't think we will.
Okay. Or Woody something. It could be like a Disney Plus series.
Who will voice Woody?
I don't know. They'll probably still get
Keanu
Tom Hanks or
Reeves.
something. No, it'll probably be like it'll be The Rock, and then Kevin Hart will be.
Well, I mean, Tom Hanks did voice Woody in the TV show and in Toy Story 2. So maybe they will get Tom Hanks.
I forgot about that. That's very possible.
Yeah. In this universe, Tim Allen is the off-brand Buzz Lightyear.
Yes, he is. He's the voice actor they got off the street to voice the toy. I don't have a huge problem with it. I think that's the easiest way of writing that out. But I think Chris Evans did a pretty good job.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I really liked him.
Mm-hmm. I think they need to stop hiring Hollywood faces for voice acting jobs that other people could do a lot better on that just aren't familiar with big Hollywood blockbusters.
I mean, I will say, when I started watching this movie, you could tell, okay, it's Chris Evans, but eventually I just saw Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Like when I heard, I was like, okay, that's Buzz Lightyear. That's who it is.
I think it's still really for Tim Allen and Chris Evans to be as big as actors as they are and still sound convincingly Chris Evans is the main thing, and then whatever studio made the toys finding Tim Allen. I think that's convincing enough for them to be like, Tim Allen sounds like, or he's he can imitate Chris Evans.
And comparing it to Onward, whenever I watch it, I don't see Barley and the other character. I only hear, okay, that's Chris Pratt and that's Tom Holland.
Yeah, I agree. But with that said, I think Chris Evans, he was... I didn't have a huge problem with... How did this start?
It starts with...
Or just... How was this conversation started? Why were we talking... I'm trying to backtrack.
Oh, I said I really liked the sequence of Buzz not growing up.
I thought he was too unaffected by it.
Yeah. I feel that you could see the pain in his eyes of seeing it all happen and then going back to his room alone. And then especially the scene when his best friend's gone. Mm-hmm. And that made me tear up because that was so sad.
No, I agree. I did tear up during that scene. But what is going on with the mics? Something's wrong.
I got a little closer, today. So maybe it's that.
No, it's that was definitely me. Just if I talk like this, that spiked it. So it's being super sensitive today. So apologies if that is too much for anybody. We'll make sure it's not whenever we publish it. But I don't know. The scene where the final part of that sequence was really good, but for they did not communicate Buzz being so willing to throw his social life and his connections away, where he seemed so willing to just watch everybody's lives go by, and they don't really go into Buzz's how he feels about, because it's just well, we have to finish the mission, and then him 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years.
For me, I agree with you, but after that sequence, I think in that it was him having so much guilt because he blames getting everyone marooned on that planet on himself, that he takes it upon himself to do it, and he thinks, yeah, I can do it. But then when you get the montage of everyone else aging, and for him it's a few days. I feel you can see the sadness in his eyes when he realizes what's happening.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's oh, still gotta finish the mission. Yeah. And they don't really fully grapple with what Buzz just went through. Mm-hmm. Just losing everyone in the span of 5 days and seeing them all age up and have families. Yeah. Even just a little side character who just helped him into his ship
Yeah.
One day he's like up like full and chipper, and the next day he has trouble walking downstairs because he's so old. And all he has is cat that we'll get into later.
Yeah.
But who is the best part of this movie?
Great. Yeah, I don't know. I think when I first saw the trailers for the first trailer released, there was nothing about time travel teased.
Yeah.
It was just like it seemed like a space adventure with Buzz Lightyear. And then the second trailer is like, Buzz, you've been gone for 60 years, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that completely changed my outlook on the movie because it's so hard to do time travel well, let alone erasing somebody's entire present life and their connections, and then trying to make it like, because once you do that, you have about an hour and 20 minutes to build like a new set, like a completely new personality for Buzz to fit in with the new characters around him in a completely different era.
Yeah. And we should say it is 4 years every time.
Yes.
But when he finally gets it right, it's, I think, 22 years?
Yes, it was a total of, it was 4 years each time, and then that, while he was testing it, it took about 2 years of his life.
I think 64.
Something around there.
It took 64 years.
And then
they figured it out.
They figured it out, and he went on another one that was 22 years.
Yeah. So about 86 years.
To quote Buzz Lightyear, about 100 years or so. Or he was like, I don't know what he said verbatim, but he rounded it up to 100. But if I had a nickel for every time Chris Evans played a man out of time character, I'd have 2 nickels. Not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Were you planning that?
Yes.
Yeah. Which even when I like in the trailer when they just said, "Oh, it's been 60 years," when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's like really interesting." But then when that montage happens, and then you find out, oh, he's like experiencing like each 4 years, like a few, like maybe a day at a time.
Right.
For me, that made it so much more heartbreaking, and it made it so much more jarring when they hardly like bring it up at all, and except for like, oh, I knew your grandma, she was my best friend, but they don't really go into like the grief that he's having.
I would disagree with that. I think the way he shows that grief is just unique to him.
Yeah,
because he will like very consistently with. Can we talk about this? I don't think it's spoiled, or I think it says it in the trailer, right? Where it's like, no, I'm blank. You know what I'm talking about? I think
he meets Hawthorne's granddaughter.
Yes, and with her throughout the movie, he very much like he sees Hawthorne in her, and slowly like comes to real like I think her and her characterization and her development through the movie is like in line with like Lightyear's grieving process and how he's like slowly accepts that she's gone, and that
I saw that as his journey of accepting like other people, because a large part of Buzz in this movie, as it was in the first Toy Story, was he's very kind of like just on his own. He doesn't want to be with other people, like especially rookies.
Yeah.
And that comes into play when the Suicide Squad that I mentioned earlier aren't even rookies. Yes. They're like junior cadets.
Yes.
And that is who Hawthorne's granddaughter also is. And so when he saw Hawthorne in her, I took that as him just seeing, oh, like, she's still like a Hawthorne. I can trust her.
Well, I think that was definitely his initial reaction, and I think he found comfort in knowing that Hawthorne, like, her legacy lived on somehow.
Okay.
And then seeing how different Hawthorne was from, or like her granddaughter Izzy was from, I believe it was Alicia. That disconnect begins like the very like subtle plot of Lightyear, like accepting that Alicia is gone, and having to like adapt to these like new connections.
Yeah, I mean they do get into it more towards the end of the movie, but it was just very shocking how they kind of disregarded it until like more towards the end. And even then I kind of wanted them to go more into it.
However, I will say, despite that, I still really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
It's very much it was just like it was a good Pixar movie. Like Pixar does not have to work very hard.
I think it's a mid-tier Pixar movie compared to all,
so?
well, compared to all of their other movies, like even Turning Red that we reviewed earlier this year, or Ratatouille, WALL-E, the entire Toy Story franchise. I think it's in the lower tier of Pixar, which is still saying something because Pixar is amazing. And so I still think this is a good movie, but I don't think it's Pixar's best.
That's fair. I definitely wouldn't say it's its best. I think I really liked... Like, I don't think there was a dull moment for me, personally. I think there's always something going on. There's always, like, some sort of action or something to keep you enthralled. For the most part... I'm trying to think of what I can say without spoilers. I think that's, like... the time travel thing is definitely just my biggest bother. Is I hate when... how can I compare this? Because there's... I feel like a really common trope in a lot of movies is making new friends, blah, 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 time travel, then you have to choose between keeping the memories or going back and fixing the first bad thing.
Yeah.
And just, like, that is always, like, exhausting to me, because it's, like, it's just an aggravating choice, and it's a very realistic choice if that, like, situation is realistic with time travel, but it's just frustrating, and I don't want to see, like, somebody throw their whole life away and then act like not a lot happened.
Yeah.
Because I do agree, like, I still stick with the first sequence of the movie being, like, kind of flat emotionally, except for, like, the final one. But I do agree with you with that afterwards, it's still not very followed through with, like, as much as I'd like it to.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna, like, sit here and tell me that, like, Buzz just moved on super quickly, I don't... He could be like that, and he's very, like... I don't know. He's a toy.
Not in this movie. He's a man in this one.
Do you... something I want to ask. Do you think this movie is live action in the Toy Story universe, or do you think it's an animated?
It is live action. So it's basically their Star Wars.
Do you think Andy could meet Buzz Lightyear in person then?
If he went to, like, their Disney World?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, at Disney World, instead of, you know how they have, like, the characters walking around? And for cartoons, it's, like, this big, like, foam character. Right. It's just a dude in a suit.
Interesting.
At Disney World.
Just Chris Evans. He's just free one weekend. They told him to come down. I think it's live action.
I think so too.
I think they don't, for 1995. You want to tell me that's CGI? Yeah.
I think just with this movie, expectations just really got me because it is a Pixar movie.
Fair enough.
And with Pixar movies, there's always something under the surface or like a very deeper meaning behind it. And for this one, like, they had it, which was kind of like accept your place in life. Kind of like that, like, learn to accept others, like, trust.
It's Doctor Strange, but better.
But, yeah. But they didn't really tackle it in a very, like, great way.
Well, I will say this movie definitely did a better job than Doctor Strange on the whole, like, let me handle it, or hold the knife plot line.
Yeah, that was weird.
Doctor Strange is on Disney Plus now.
It
if you wanna suffer. Unless you like it, I guess.
A lot of people like it, maybe.
You know, maybe they do. Maybe that's great. Maybe they like mediocre character development.
But I think the action was good in this movie. I think the humor was still there. I just admit it didn't have that Pixar spark that I have come to expect with a lot of Pixar movies.
I disagree. I liked it. I thought, like...
There's like the deeper meaning.
There is a whole scene with Izzy and her character overcoming a fear of hers, and I think that scene was just that
was a good scene.
They let it go on for like a pretty decent amount of time for how the scene should feel, and I think they did that one really justice. That one felt like super like fantastical.
How did you feel about the rest of the Suicide Squad? I'm just going to keep calling them that. I think they were called, like, Zappers or something.
Well, Zappers are the actual, like, force from that. I would just call them. I don't know what I'd even call them.
They're the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Taika Waititi was.
He's
Taika Waititi.
I love Taika Waititi,
Yeah.
but I'm getting really worried about him being in every big Hollywood movie and just being himself.
Yeah.
I don't think he's reached the point yet of overexposure, but I'm worried about
It's
him.
getting very close. I'm quite tired of I didn't like Free Guy. I didn't like him as Korg was good. It was the first real exposure I'd say a lot of people got to him and his work. And then,
for sure.
Now we have Thor: Love and Thunder coming out very soon.
I did a double feature of Lightyear and Jurassic World. And after Lightyear, I walked directly into Jurassic World, and the Thor trailer came on. Yeah. And then the first thing you hear is Taika Waititi as Korg, and I got a little bit like, oh no.
Here you go again. I don't know. He was Taika Waititi.
Yeah, he was good in this movie though. The other person, I don't even know her name.
Me neither.
She is just
the felon.
The felon.
She was okay too. It's weird that they put the grandma from Coco in Lightyear, but here we are.
Yeah, she had like a whole thing of I can turn any 3 objects into explosives,
and that's
they used
funny.
It once.
Yeah, but I agree. I don't know. I feel like I would have been more upset if they overused it.
Yeah.
I think it acting as more of a callback to that was funnier. But they were just comedic relief. They were a subplot. They
weren't anything like super special.
Yeah. Was there any? And then otherwise, it's just Izzy
Socks.
and that.
Let's talk about Socks.
Socks is pretty great.
Socks is an amazing character in this.
Some of the best parts of the movie are because of Socks.
There is a scene with a blow dart.
Yeah.
It comes out of nowhere, and I love it.
They're like all the sounds he makes and stuff, like the beep boop beep boop beep boop.
He's voiced by Peter Son, who voices a lot of Pixar characters.
Is it like the Riley Baker kind of thing?
Kind of. He directed The Good Dinosaur, and he was the model for Russell from Up. You'll know exactly when you see him, but he voiced.
Okay, that's funny.
Did you just see it?
Yeah.
I know he voiced another. Oh, he voices Squishy in Monster University.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought he was really good in this.
Also, another thing we can talk about. Have you at the end, since we're already deep in light years? Have you watched Miss Marvel?
I have.
Okay, we can talk. We can throw that in at the end if you want.
Do you want to go into ratings?
Sure. Yeah.
How would you rate this movie?
I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Okay.
With age, I think it's going to go down to 3.5.
Okay.
That's actually awesome. I've never seen Peter Son before. He did a great job of voicing Socks.
He did. He made, like you said, he made so many of those sounds, like the white noise, or like the beep boop, whenever he tried to calculate something.
Any cat joke in the form of a robot cat landed pretty well.
It was amazing.
I would give this I'd give it like an 88, 89.
Wow. Okay.
90 is like really good movie territory, and I think it was really close to that for me. I enjoyed it. I've been just I don't know. I've not been very cynical of movies lately. Sonic 2 was objectively really bad, but I liked it.
It's like, hold on, you gave that a good score.
No, I really enjoyed it, and so I keep watching people talk about it, and they're like, dude, the wedding scene.
I know. I tried talking to you about that in our review. Go listen to our Sonic 2 review where I tried to convince him about the wedding scene.
It's not good. That's not a good scene. But who cares? It's Sonic. And he runs around and does things. Which is what Sonic does in the game. This isn't a Sonic review, but yeah, Lightyear, I think it was super solid.
Yeah.
Definitely has a lot of room to improve. We can do spoilers if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to do activate our spoilers mode?
Well, first.
Okay.
I would give it probably about 7.
Okay.
So I am lower than you. I still enjoyed this movie. I think it's a good movie. I would recommend it. Mm-hmm. It's just not top tier Pixar, which is what I expected.
I will also say I'm not as big as a fan of Toy Story as I feel like
I love
you
Toy
are
Story.
or a lot of other people. I've watched Toy Story 4 and 3 are the only ones I have any active memory of. 1 and 2 are just like stored in a deep box in my mind from when I was like 6.
Yeah, even Toy Story 4, I thought this movie is going to be so unnecessary. Why is it being made?
Mm-hmm.
I watched it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think it's the best, but it's on Toy Story Review.
Mm-hmm.
Austin, what is the Rotten Tomatoes score?
Critics are probably being like iffy on this, I'd say. I don't think this is a knock out of the park. I've not heard anything superb about it. I've not heard anything terrible about it. I'd say critics probably gave this. It's a Pixar movie, so it probably has like a plus 80 by default. So I'll say it's like a 84. I'll
84?
say.
Okay.
Audience, I'd say I'm gonna be optimistic and say that the audience liked it a little better. And hopefully enough kids were just like enamored by the big explosions and stuff, where they're like, cool. It's either that or it's the Frozen 2 effect, where people take their kids out to see Frozen 2 and are disappointed when it has like adult themes and plots.
Frozen 2 was so good.
It really was. It aged like a fine wine with its audience, and that like then it got backlash for being too like serious. I don't know.
When Olaf died?
Bruh, spoilers.
Anyway.
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
No, clearly. Okay, but audience, that's going to be... I'm going to say it's real close. I'm going to say 80
Okay.
for audience.
So you think it's lower than critics?
Yeah, I changed my mind.
Okay.
I think it's going to be around the 80s.
So 84 and 80. Okay.
You hit me
So
with like a 40, I'm going to lose my mind.
So for critics,
Yes,
you said 84%.
I did.
With 247 reviews. It's a fort now. It's a
Okay.
75%.
Okay.
Yeah, certified fresh. Critics' consensus.
Mm-hmm.
Lightyear settles for being a rather conventional origin story instead of reaching for the stars. But this gorgeously animated adventure ably accomplishes its mission of straightforward fun. It is a very beautiful movie. That reminds me.
Yes.
I also really like the score.
Yeah, Michael Giacchino.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah, it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Audience score, you said 80%. You should have went with your gut and said it was slightly higher than 84%, because this is an 85%.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I should have actually just done slightly higher.
Yeah.
That's rough.
No
deserve
consensus
that,
for that. Yeah. We have another game to play.
Yeah, what is this game?
What do you think the opening weekend did at the box office? I'm going to give you a few numbers so you can compare.
Do I get the budget of the movie?
I think the budget was $200 million. Yeah.
Okay.
It
Wow.
really ballooned. Oh man, I should have done this before. Hold on.
You're good.
Okay. So
If you need
Toy
to
Story
stall,
3.
I can talk about Last Jedi.
No, we're not gonna do that. Toy Story 3 came out in 2010, so it's been over a decade. But it opened to $110 million. Also on a budget of $200 million.
What movie was that?
Toy Story 3.
3. Okay.
Toy Story 4, which released in 2019, had budget also $200 million, is the highest in the Toy Story franchise of $120 million.
If they spent $200 million on all these and they didn't, like...
This is the opening weekend.
Opening weekend, okay.
Yeah. I'm
That's
sorry.
why I was like, how are they not making their money back on any of these?
Yeah, this is just opening weekend.
Okay.
Onward is the last theatrically released Pixar movie.
Yeah.
However, it was a little cut short because of
Right.
COVID and its opening weekend, so keep that in mind.
Yes.
It opened $39 million.
Okay.
Don't know what the budget is on that. A post in pandemic movie, which released recently, wasn't that huge. The Bad Guys
Right.
opened $23.9 million.
Okay.
And then a big movie that came out in the pandemic, Sing 2,
Right.
opened $22.3 million. Oh, that was even lower than Bad Guys.
Lightyear? Do you have any more hints? Or is
No, that's it.
Okay. Lightyear, I can see the graph in my head. Singing Bad Guys, not Disney, not Pixar. I'm counting them, because those were also released, in COVID, not in the thick of COVID, but enough where it's, something you gotta, consider. Because I feel like, most people would still be, I think we're at a point now where most people are going to movies still.
Yeah.
Again, my theater is decently full, and I saw it like a week after, or like the Tuesday after it came out.
My theater was empty when I saw it.
Interesting. You just gave me another hint.
I guess that was a hint. Yeah.
We're gonna say higher than Bad Guys in Sing. Because
Okay.
it's Pixar, and people love Pixar. And people probably took their kids to see it because it's Toy Story. Counting for that, carry this on. It's gonna be $42 million.
You said $42 million?
$42 million opening weekend.
I thought you'd guess a lot higher. And it's $50.5 million.
I had 56 in my brain before I
Ooh.
lowered it. That's so upsetting.
This
I'll
is
take that.
actually kind of low. It was projected for $80 million.
Mm-hmm.
So it really plummeted from what was
Dang.
projected. I think a lot of factors contributed to it.
Mhm.
One, people didn't know what this movie is.
Yeah.
Is it about the toy Buzz Lightyear? Is it like an origin story?
That's
why isn't Tim Allen voicing him?
Right.
Also, the last 3 Pixar movies debuted on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So people are now expecting, is it on Disney Plus?
Right.
So I think all those factors contributed to a lower opening
Mhm.
weekend. I'm hoping that like as word of mouth spreads, it
Mhm.
will get higher because it does deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
We'll still see a we'll see a
50.5.
Woody like series or movie. We will.
Yeah.
We will see a full version.
Do you want to bet on that?
That or like a like some sort of like holiday special kind of thing.
Okay,
I don't think
I'll give you that.
I don't know if they would do that much. Because I feel like if they were to do a Woody in the style of Lightyear,
Mm-hmm.
it would be like they'd commit to it. It would be like
Okay.
some fun cowboy western thing with probably Tom Hanks if like they showed the show in
Yeah.
Toy Story 2. So I don't know. I feel like it's also harder to like excuse getting rid of Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Tim Allen, I'm sure they have their real world reasons for not getting Tim Allen, but that's not for us to discuss.
I think it was to separate the movie from the toy.
You think so?
Well, that's what like even they said.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I know like PR
I'll
talk,
put my tin.
but
my
your
aluminum fat
Tim
or foil.
Tim
Exactly.
Allen Tim Alumian I don't know hat on.
Wow.
Anyway, do you want to go into any spoilers before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. We
Yeah.
can, but
The-
it'll just be like
Zurg was weird.
Zurg was weird.
Spoilers in 3, 2,
2, 1.
1. So Zurg being Buzz, that's when
Yeah.
the movie really lost me because that time travel
Yes.
just confused the heck out of me.
Right.
Because it wasn't a different timeline or anything. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
he's the original Buzz. But then our Buzz is like going at the same time. And
Mhm.
like it was just weird. It
I
was
will
weird
s-
all around.
I will say for a kids movie for the most part, they do a decent job of trying to express that like
I
this-
don't know.
I feel like the key line is the old Buzz saying to new Buzz that this is a new now, this has never happened,
Yeah.
which without considering the other rules of however time travel works in their universe, which they do try to briefly explain, is that like it's a Back to the Future situation. New Buzz he used the DeLorean whatever to create a branch from the timeline,
Mhm.
and now they are like Buzz's current thing is a set off from what old Buzz is the original.
But my thing is, he goes back, like maybe when Buzz figures out the perfect formula,
Mm-hmm.
but he just like stays from that point on.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's the only thing that's changed from when Buzz finds out the perfect formula, then why is everything else like from before then different?
Do you mean like Zurg went
I just
back?
think they didn't.
I feel like I have a
communicate it
decent
well.
idea.
Well,
it's
because
just hard to communicate.
He said in one of his missions, like the last mission he went on,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just finding out, they're just doing a laser shield, he gets captured, and so
Mhm.
he flies up in space. Why doesn't that happen to our Buzz? Because he didn't
that
go back
happens
to.
because Zurg is now in our current timeline. When old Buzz gets back on his trip, when he gets it to work, he is arrested by like whatever his like the new commander of the base. He is
Yeah.
arrested by him. When or when our Buzz gets back from his trip, Zurg has already time traveled to that point.
Okay.
And so there's an assault going on the base in our Buzz's timeline when there wasn't in his Buzz's.
I don't think the assault happened yet because they don't even have the laser shield yet.
They had the Zurg ship was already above the area. The robots
well, that's when
were
he
there.
traveled in 22 years later.
Yes.
No, I'm saying in the last, not the last mission, but when he comes back and finds out that Hawthorne is gone,
mm-hmm.
and the new captain comes in and like kind of kicks him out. He's like, "Oh, we're going to do a laser shield."
Mm-hmm.
When old Buzz has that exact same mission, instead of finding out, "Oh, Hawthorne's dead. There's a new leader," he just gets immediately arrested.
Well, that's still 22 years later. We didn't.
No, that wasn't 22 years later.
We didn't see old Buzz before his successful mission. We only saw old Buzz after the 22 years. We learn about the laser shield and Commander Hawthorne passing away 22 years before. Before his final mission.
Old Buzz did not travel to that point in time.
Correct, because he couldn't. That's the plot of his thing, is that he couldn't make it back far enough.
So everything, from before that point, should be the exact same for our Buzz.
Yes.
But it's not the exact same, because he doesn't get arrested.
He gets arrested when he gets back from the 22.
That's not what they say. That's not what they
Buzz
say.
1 is old, young. Buzz 2 is old.
Yeah.
Buzz 1 gets back from his mission. Okay, let me.
Am I missing something?
Apparently, are you I don't know if I'm missing something.
Or maybe we're not communicating it right.
Chris,
maybe we should end this.
No, I have time.
Buzz.
You're right. Buzz 1 comes back from the mission, from the 22 years mission, the first successful mission, and he is not arrested.
Yeah, I'm not talking about
that. But robots come after him.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the last unsuccessful mission. When he comes back, he finds out Hawthorne is dead.
That's the same for both Buzzes.
It's not, though, because on that mission, old Buzz gets arrested immediately, and then he flies up.
Old Buzz doesn't get arrested after finding out about Hawthorne. Old Buzz gets arrested after doing the next mission.
I thought they said
that was the same Buzz. Up until that point, there has not been a deviation. The deviation happens after the 22-year mission. Commander Hawthorne passes away before going on that mission.
Well,
for
then
both
that
Buzzes.
would mean, but they said they've been fighting this war for years.
No, it's been weeks. They showed up weeks ago.
Oh, oops.
Yeah.
Okay, this movie's a 10 out of 10. My bad.
That's what I'm saying. All of these were.
I just missed one line of dialogue and it messed everything up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. I'm glad we cleared that
up. Did you want to talk about Miss Marvel?
It's good. Watch it if you want to. It's not.
I love this show.
It's very artistic.
It is so good.
Marvel's
I think the third episode is the weakest so far, but that's because they're doing a lot of heavy lifting.
I agree.
But yeah, it's such a good show.
Definitely, Marvel's moving in a unique direction with their shows, where each show gets a good identity for itself.
Mm.
Me trying to picture Moon Knight working with Kamala Khan, no way. But they'll make it happen someday, and I'm super hyped for it. This show's great. It's really artistic, and I think it's one of the most stylistic shows.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of work and planning that goes into making this show vibrant, so good. They do such a good job, like everything. I think it's just really good. But,
well, I just exposed myself for being a dum-dum.
Yes, you did.
To be fair, I watched it after I got back from a 20-hour car ride.
Well, you were too busy thinking about Jurassic World Dominion.
I was.
I
was so excited to watch Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah.
I mean, I was. I liked it. It was rad. But yeah. Oops, I missed that line.
You don't have to apologize for not understanding time travel in a Pixar movie. It doesn't make sense.
It was weird.
Anyways,
our next review should be Thor.
Yeah,
Love and
Thunder. Soon. When does that come
I think it's like July 8th.
Okay. That works for me.
Yeah, so stay tuned for just a few more weeks.
We have Thor, Love and Thunder. Nope, and Bullet Train.
Who knows if we had anything else?
Yeah, true.
We might.
We didn't talk about Top Gun.
We didn't. I forgot.
Okay.
Top Gun
I'm going to time you. You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Say whatever you want. Go.
Top Gun is the third best movie of this year. The action is amazing. Tom Cruise brings it. My biggest complaint is that it feels like the third film in a movie trilogy. It feels like there's a lot that the audience should know, but we don't know. Just a lot of like character dynamics that we have no idea about. But the action is amazing. It's basically Star Wars, but with fighter pilots. If you see it, you'll know immediately why. Yeah, I love how all the action is completely real, like it's not CGI, and you feel it in the theater.
Yeah.
When I watched it, the theater was rumbling. It was so cool. Tom Cruise just always brings it. I love the new cast too. Miles Teller as Rooster really brings it. You got Hangman. You got I wanted to say I forget Bob. There's Bob. No, what were their other names?
I don't know.
Maverick.
I didn't see it.
Iceman.
The guy, the pilot.
The pilot.
Yeah. So what would you give this on a scale of?
I give it 9.
1 to 10. 9.
I give it 9. I think Phoenix is one of their names.
Cool.
Here, hold on. Let me just look up the names. I want to give them credit.
You have 35 seconds to look up that name.
Okay, so there's Warlock. There's Phoenix. Yeah, I was right. Phoenix.
Nice.
There's Payback. Payback. I really like Payback.
Okay.
There's a scene where Payback, kind of passes out, and it looks like the actor is actually passing out because they're like putting him through some stuff.
Nice.
And it was like, oh man, like that seems terrifying. Oh yeah, the first movie it makes you want to be a pilot, and this one it makes you not want to be a pilot.
Cool.
Because they make it sound terrifying, but the movie is amazing. It's awesome.
4, 3,
and go
2,
see it, please. Go see
1. Bam. Good review.
Thank you.
We should make all of our episodes
2-minute reviews.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be like incredibly chaotic.
Especially with the two of us trying to.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the Rotten Tomato score?
5. Yeah, so that's our show for this week. We have lots to cover. Very chaotic at the end, very chaotic at the beginning, but that's how we do.
Very chaotic in the middle.
A lot of Star Wars talking. A lot of Star Wars talk today.
Yeah, hopefully next time we don't bring up Last Jedi.
Eventually, I'm going to break into the studio when Anthony doesn't know, and I will record an episode about Last Jedi. Just keep an eye out for that. I will not be posting on the Instagram because I don't do that.
No. Yeah, you can follow us at
That's
a Wrap, NCR.
That is where you will find our announcements, where you could find the announcement for this episode. Yes. Catch us in a couple weeks for when Thor Love and Thunder comes out.
If you like what we're doing, consider joining North Code Radio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you like talking about movies, North Film Society is there as well.
Exactly.
But that's all I got.
That's all I got, too.
All right. Well, until next time.
That's a wrap.